Good morning, beautiful goddesses, and welcome to session number 9.
Love potion number 9.
That's right, number 9 in the books. And the real question we have for you today is, what is the hold frequency and how does that create champions? And before you tune out or think this is not for you, I want you to consider you are a champion in your own life. Your own champion in your own family, in your business, in every area of your life. Yes, you are a champion. So welcome to session number 9. We are so excited to dive in. Are you ready, Connie?
Oh, I am so ready. And I'm like, so tell me more.
Right? So that's what she said to me over the weekend when I'm like, I know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So I want to bring to your conscious awareness a new, really a level of frequency that I just learned about. I mean, I can't even believe I'm just learning about this, right? And
Me
consider,
too.
consider we've been doing it unconsciously, but there's so much power when we can bring it to our conscious awareness, bring it as a distinction, because that's really what it is a distinction, and have it activated in our lives. So I just learned about this. It's called the hold frequency. And what the hold frequency is, so imagine, for those of you who are not on YouTube, right? Hold up your right hand, right? So your right hand, and we've been talking this entire month all about planting seeds, yes? And really fueling everything that you're up to, yes? And, planting seeds in your business and planting seeds in your children and planting seeds in your health and wellness. And you've been planting. And last week we talked about, really allowing the fertile soil to do its job versus what could have happened, which is like dig it all up, right? So the distinction of hold frequency really begins so you take that and you just like set it out, right? Set it out into the universe. And then I want you to bring up your left hand. And now in your left hand, now you can go and do what it is you need to do. I'm just going to say, let's talk about managing your wellness, right? So let's bring this to our everyday life. I know Connie and I, during February, we were humming, right? Like we were planting, building. We both have, yes, constantly. And then I went on a trip with my daughter to Orlando, Florida. By the way, that's where I left my voice because we had a dance competition.
And
We'll get to that part. Yeah, we'll get to that part. She's so excited.
I am I'm so proud.
Well, thank you. I'm so proud too. And so basically I was, planting, building in February, excuse me. And then left hand, I go to Florida for a week. This distinction hold technology transformed my trip, and here's why. In the past, up until recently, when I got to Florida, my neurology, number one, without this hold distinction, could not have relaxed, could not have refueled, could not have energized. I would have it could have gone two ways. One, like I continue to work, because lo and behold, I don't want to lose that momentum. Or number two, I would have to check out so much, like literally run away from my business. But here's the power of the hold frequency. So you planted all those seeds. Now, if you consciously go, okay, now I need to hold this frequency, then you can come over to the other side and begin to do what it is you need to do, which is manage your wellness, refuel, celebrate, live your life, all while allowing what's in your right hand to blossom. Ladies, that is called the divine feminine, to actually begin to receive everything that you've been planting in. There it is, Connie.
I love it.
Now, I know, what did you get from it? Because we talked about this over the weekend and we were just like zinging all over the place. What was there for you? Like, what did you hear? What did you see? What did you get for yourself?
So what I know is in the past, up until recently, when I would have a big win, I would either like keep my nose down and work, not to lose the momentum and not celebrate the achievements at
Right.
all. Like not even
Right.
almost acknowledge them, but just keep working. Or like you said, the total opposite of just like, oh, well, I hit that goal. So now I can just coast a little bit and like unplug and not continue any momentum.
Yeah.
And you have experienced the same thing, and so has Miss Savannah. So, like, talk about that.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I literally learned about this distinction, ladies, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh, right. It was just like one of those mind blowing distinctions. And so I've been just practicing maybe 2 weeks of implementing this into my life. And of course, it came at the perfect time, divine timing. As you know, February was an epic month. And of course, I want to go to Florida to enjoy this trip with my daughter. And so, I literally would remind myself while I'm sitting in, the lawn chair with, palm trees and blue skies and fun cocktails in my hand going, hold the frequency, Shannon, hold the frequency, hold the frequency and receive like the gift of your fruits, like your work, like, and, of course I was listening to, some things in my ear that were also just, fueling that and reaffirming, you know, God wants us to win. And if we
Yes.
don't ever allow him the space or the grace,
Yeah,
we're robbing him of his glory, right?
absolutely.
So, fun story about my daughter, which is really what Connie wants to get to. So here it goes.
Yeah.
Um, so it was it Friday? Friday. They were going, so they had a kick performance on Friday afternoon. And I remember, like, I saw them winning this entire competition before we even went in my mind's eye. Like, I knew it. I have seen the performances. I know the work that they've put in. And one of the things that us as parents, the coaches request us to do prior to the girls going on the trip is send a video in and they compile all the videos, right? And so most parents' videos were like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, and it's like, good luck and I love you, and all that stuff. Well, I'm the crazy mom that decided to do a 3-minute video on frequencies. And it really was like if I never got to talk to her before she performed, I wanted her to get this. And it really was, ladies, you have done the physical work. You have done the mental work. You have put your muscles know what to do. At this point, it really is the frequency work that you have got to tune into, tap into, ground your bodies, align your spines, reach out and connect with each of your team members. And like literally, you should begin to hear their heartbeat. When you can hear your team member's heartbeat, you are in unison, right? And so of course I see my daughter and she's like, Mom, you're so embarrassing. And I'm like, good.
That's
And
my job.
yeah, that is my job. And all the girls were like, oh my gosh, we learned so much. And so, of course, my heart was full, right? That one, I was able to contribute to them. And of course, Connie, fueling into me, which has me fuel into this entire team. So thank you, Connie, for that. But what I found was they were really coming to me as a source of knowledge and like, okay, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you think is next? So they go do this kick performance on Saturday. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And so they run up to me after the performance and I'm like, oh, girls, that's it. And they're like, we're not sure. And I'm like, now it's time for the hold distinction. And they're like, what's the hold distinction? And I'm like, here's what's so you did the work. Now you have to actually hold the frequency. And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, you are so powerful. You are so powerful. Your energy actually has the capacity to impact in an environment. And if you keep your vibration high, if you know, like you know, like you know, you did the work, you gave it all, holding that frequency versus what normally would happen is what? The itty bitty shitty committee comes in, right? And starts going, oh, I should have done this, or oh, I didn't do that, or oh, I missed this, or oh, I missed. No, 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 no. Hold the frequency. And they're like, okay. And I'm telling you, Connie, it was magical to watch them literally hold the frequency, which had them be stronger throughout the rest of the competition, right? So they got first place in prelims.
In the nation.
And well, that was in the prelims, and then they went to
well, they still
finals.
were first in the nation in the prelims.
They did. And then, yes, so not only did we bring home one national championship, we brought home double national champions. And I assert, it is the lesson of this frequency that had them not only do what they needed to do in the first dance, but their energy was so united, so connected that then when they did the second one, they were unstoppable.
Which is game day, right?
Game day. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So what are you hearing, Connie? I really want to unpack this, for our listeners, because this is not about my daughter's dance, right? This is really about the distinction of hold and how can we apply it in our lives? How can you apply it in your family? How can you apply it in your business? Connie, take it away.
Well, so one thing I want to put in that Coach Page said was to the girls, because so you might be thinking, right, listening to us, like, I have no idea how to do this, right? So the girls were saying, how do we do this? And Coach Page says, channel your inner Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may be wondering what to do. And we have invested and poured into ourselves and each other, not only so that we could be each other's inner, like I have inner Shannon that I channel and she has inner Connie that she channels.
Heck yeah.
And our invitation to you is like, plug into that first, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I want to put in for sure. And really, so I learned this a few years ago from a very wise spiritual lady that when the blessings come forth, when the harvest comes forth, when everything we've been visualizing and feeling and working towards happens, how often do we just not even say thank you? And what I heard, what this young woman said to me was, well, what I say is thank you, more please. And
yes,
I'm
like,
more please. Oh my gosh, yes, thank you, and more please. And it was just like I'm like, oh yeah. So that's what I'm hearing. So it's like you hold it and say, like, to continue, thank you, right? Which is a very high frequency to begin with.
yes.
And more, like, I'm open to receiving. And so many women are so busy doing all the things that we used to do as a tribe together, right? Yes. And stepping things up, because you might be a single mom, you might be a wife with a partner that is not fully participating for whatever reason. And most, like, the women that we know and hang with are high producers, high flyers, and it's easy to take on too much masculine energy. Yeah. Right? Which is force, push, all the things versus receive.
Yes.
So
let's all just take a deep breath in that.
So it's receive, thank you, more please, and then enjoy, celebrate the win, the victory, the achievement, while still nourishing yourself every day. Like, don't change that. Like, keep pouring into yourself, keep doing what's been working. Because like what I see, like sometimes, so I have the history of losing and finding weight. Last 40 years. I would lose some and then I would find it, and then I would lose it and find it. Now I am releasing it, right? Yes. And what I, in the past up until recently, I would like hit a goal And then I'm like, oh, I can celebrate. And so then I would like start to have like just a little bit of sugar or just a spoonful of this, or, and I'd find myself like 2 weeks later, like no longer at the goal that I had.
Yeah.
And it affects, like, it's so applicable in so many different areas, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
and I even remember, I mean, let's just take it back to when I did roofing, right? So the first time I went to hit $1 million, you have to, here's the thing that you have to get when we are up against, I'll call them like the big tickets, right? So the $1 million or a 6-figure income earner, we are literally hitting a glass ceiling. Does that make sense?
mhm,
Like a belief system.
yeah,
And it is the holding of the frequency that has us be able to actually bust up through that ceiling.
yeah,
If you don't actualize on the hold frequency, you just hit and bounce back down, hit and bounce back down. Because I remember, I mean, I was like $30,000 away from $1 million, and it was all I could do not to just like lose my stuff. Because and I remember like wanting it so bad. And I also remember at that time I really didn't have the I'm worthy or I'm enough belief system like I do today. um and so that was something I got to go at war with. And that's one of the things I could really see these girls um dealing with, grappling with. um the ability to receive, they had done the work. The ability to receive, they were enough. The ability to just receive. And I, just like we talked last week, the girls who showed up, in Orlando on Wednesday are not the same girls that left on Monday.
no,
I'm
they're not.
not the same mom. Coach Page is not the same coach.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're not the same people who we were in at the beginning of the year.
right, or
Let
just last
alone,
week, last
right.
Wednesday.
True story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to a longtime friend, I think it was on Sunday, and he said, I almost don't even recognize you anymore. And I had not seen him, and I didn't see him. This was just over the phone. And I haven't seen him for like 3.5 years. And I said, you don't know, you don't know me. When Nicholas took that straight shot to heaven without my permission,
Right.
he or approval, which he didn't need. And I got to recreate every area. And I said, you don't know me. And I have some business partners I'm working with now again that I worked with before, and I'm working with them again. And I said to them, like, you think you know who I am?
No.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Well, you're just learning who she is.
Well, exactly, exactly. And playing with it all, like
Yes.
having, like, actually getting the joy
Yes.
of celebrating, you know, that's new. I'm gonna be 51 on Friday. That is new. Celebrating
Celebrating.
all of it.
Celebrating is new. Deep breaths are new, right?
Yeah,
Let's take a deep breath. That feels good.
yeah,
And that really is, again, the hold frequency in addition to the allowing to receive. And as we shift our neurology, our ways of being from masculine, full on masculine energy to a balance between masculine and feminine. Because here's the other thing about this masculine energy. What I love about the masculine energy is systems and structure.
yeah,
So what I really am committed to optimizing at this point in my life is the masculine side of systems and structure with the divine feminine of receiving and flow and grace and ease and fun and play and pleasure and like that yumminess, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Ah, hold frequency. It will change your life. And there is to like, I mean, I literally, I mean, it is foreign to me. And I just remember sitting in the chair, like, hold it, Shannon. You've done the work, you've done what you need to do. Just hold the frequency, hold. And then I could literally, and I literally like imagined it in my hand, right? Like in my right hand. And then I pull up my left hand and I'm like, okay, now what do you want to do? Oh, Shannon wants to go have some nourished food. I want to go for a walk. I want to go for a run. I want to, go to the pool. I want to go see what the other girls are doing. I want to, like, but my neurology literally like almost had to put it in a box, like put all the work in a box and now go do this. And I could literally feel the difference and the joy. And like, there's nothing wrong here. Like, and what happened was amplification and elevation. Like, more got done this week that I was gone than like, whoa,
Yeah, let's go on vacation again.
let's go on vacation again. Yes.
I'm telling you, it's in the inner work that we do.
Yes.
Like, I am so clear and committed to that. Um,
Yes.
I also have systems and structures, and
Great.
not quite like Shannon, just we're doing different things. And I am 1,000% clear that the inner work that I do every morning and before I go to bed at night makes the difference. And we're both producing results. I assert that things that have never moved are
Are
now.
now moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl, I mean,
So
yes.
what do I say? Like, get in the car. Like, come find us on Facebook, Soul
Yeah.
Sister Adventures. Like, get in the car. Let's play.
Yeah.
We have some things that we've learned that we want to share.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. Yeah.
One more thing I want to put in, because I think it's relevant with this whole frequency is I actually had someone call me up just yesterday or the day before. And this is someone who pretty much um like I was wrecked by what she communicated. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, right? And she called me up and apologized. And what I'm getting, and number one, I acknowledge her for apologizing. Number two, um, I forgave her and told her that I forgave her. Number three, I also said you nor I, you and I are not the same people from 2017. And she got that. And I think we're gonna have like an amazing fun adventure together now. So ladies, I say all that to say, in the realm of hold frequency, as you're elevating, as you're transforming, as you are becoming enlightened, raising your value levels, up the scale, um, forgiveness, not only for yourself, but for them. And like, again, that was a moment for me to receive.
Yeah.
And it did, of course, drum up some stuff, right? I'm like, I've really carried a heavy burden in this town. And thank you. Thank you for acknowledging it. And it was to the point, well, I won't go into either way. What I'm saying is we're all transforming. And for me to be able to receive, yeah, go ahead.
Well, this time in history, things
Yes.
are happening faster and faster and faster.
Yes.
You have noticed all of that out there, y'all.
Yes.
So it is more critical, urgent, important, more of a priority than ever to
Yes.
be mindful of where you're vibrating at. And if you want to
Yes.
know, look around and your results will tell you.
Bingo.
And I'm going through some things in my personal life, and it's constant reminder of like that. I didn't know that it was called hold frequency. And what I'm clear about is like, okay, no one's going to steal the joy and the peace that I finally have back in my
Yes.
life since Nicholas went to heaven. I'm not allowing anyone. They could do whatever they could do, and no one. I am the only one that can give permission to anyone for to steal my joy and my peace. And I no
Right.
longer allow that because I am worth it.
Mm.
And that's what's available, because and it's happening faster and faster.
Oh yeah.
So whatever you're doing, you might as well get on the high frequency train because it's going faster and faster. You're going to get beat up on the lower frequency faster. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just how what's going on in the world right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When the moment I hung up the phone, I thought of you. I'm like, things that have never moved are now moving.
That's my
Whoa.
favorite. That's my favorite part of our mission.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, and I mean, it speaks volume to the work that we're doing. It speaks volume to, again, our hold for this is who I am, and I think the ability to forgive and like, and that's why, was it last week or the week before? I'm like, if any point we have offended you, like forgive us,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
We are evolving. You are evolving. And so have some fun and play with that as well. So,
Yeah.
well, beautiful. Anything else we want to share about this hold frequency, March, spring, elevation? We've got a full moon in effect.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Things are happening with velocity. So you get to choose, right?
Yes.
You get to choose.
Yeah. What would you say, Connie, is your recommendation for our listeners, given the conversation today and, really what we've been speaking about all of March, if they find themselves stuck or stopped, or like, what do you say, what's like the number one thing for them to do right now?
Well, to me, the number one thing is plug into our group because we have resources there. It's on Facebook, Soul Sister Adventures. We Shannon or I, and there's other great members that are also contributing content to the group.
Yes.
There's different levels, right? So there's come into our tribe, contribute, receive. There's also like working with us because I'm really clear. So one of the things I heard the day after Nicholas went to heaven was keep your frequency high because that's where he is. And so I got very, very, very curious about what all of that looked like. And so that includes drinking the high frequency water. That includes eating the high frequency foods. That includes thinking the high frequency thoughts. That includes, like surrounding your environment with the high frequency things, like no clutter. There's all these different levels, right? And we have been consciously creating that for a hot minute, right? And so we know a couple things. So if you don't even know where to start, I'd say start in the Facebook group. Reach out to us through Messenger. Like we're available. See, check out what we're doing and play with us because you're worth it.
You are worth it. And I'd love to hear, comment in the video below. Leave us a review, post in Facebook, in the group. What are you hearing? What are you receiving in this conversation? How did this conversation about hold frequency, if you begin to implement it into your day, into your week, into your life, what did you get? Because it's one thing for us to share with you what we're getting, but what are you getting? Because your story matters, you matter, and the world needs to hear what's happening with you too. So
absolutely, that's really the thing is the world needs each of us to arise to why we're here.
yeah.
And right before this, so before we do our podcast, we catch up a little bit and pray and then start so that God fully uses us to so that we can step out of the way, right? And I would say you and I today, this morning, before we recorded, have had a breakthrough production and sales day.
Yeah.
And
that would be accurate.
Right. And you're like, let me tell you what happened today. I'm like, let me tell you what happened today. And like, we're not done. Like, I'm about to get on another call that's, yeah. Thank you. More, please.
Yes, and more, please.
Yes, and more, please. So
beautiful.
Get in the car.
All right, get in the car, goddesses. That's a wrap for today. We love you. Like it, tag it, post it, share it, and we'll see you next week.